Hey everybody, it's Lori. It starts with us, 8/12/24. I'm just saying it. A Voice in the Dark production with Lori Elliot. I guess, um, you know, everybody on Facebook, and just about anybody that's listening to one of my things knows how I feel about certain things. What I'm realizing, though, is that it doesn't help what I've been doing or anybody as far as putting the memes up and the propaganda and all that crap. Uh, we're turning into little monsters, each of us, in our own way. And some are really bad, and some are, just, you know, pain in the ass. And the thing is that we know what the issues are, we know what the people are, but there's a bigger picture that we all need to be able to look at. And I guess that's why I keep posting some things and encouraging conversation. And I think I was doing it wrong. You can't do it by pissing somebody off. And but what I've been seeing are people who, on one side, who are small business owners mostly, that I find are the ones on the right wing. And I get it. Because in my opinion, all small businesses should have, the ones that are owned by, your neighbor, your buddy, one of your family, the private owned businesses are the ones that should have all the tax breaks and all the incentives to flourish so that other people in the area flourish and that we have services within our proper distance of, our lives. And so I understand where you're wanting some changes. We all do. And if you think that the left side doesn't understand that, we do. It's just that getting the right people in, the president's not going to make a difference. I'm all for Robert Kennedy because I'm voting for certain particular Democrats to go into Senate and Congress. But I'm voting for him for president because I don't trust Kamala. I don't trust her, and I don't trust Biden or any of them. And I sure don't trust Trump. They're all elites. They're all bought and paid for. And a good percentage of Congress and the Senate is. So what we have to do is really take a look at the bigger picture here and say, okay, if we really want to make a difference, then we need to be active in getting the right people in there and really thinking about what is right for America. Where did it go wrong? Where did things start really tripping us up? About 50 years ago, they started deregulating things. When they deregulated media, that was the first big step at controlling us at what we will see, know to be true, and they inundated us with violence, things that scare us. I miss Walter Cronkite so bad I can't see straight. I miss having real news where people had to actually, each station had to compete to get the best news story. So they went out and actually got stories and they got the truth. Anyway, that's where it starts 50 years ago. And there's been a slow, systematic ruin of our country. And unfortunately, it has been privately owned businesses that have paid the biggest price. And I know that. I get that. And so does the left side. And we're trying to figure out what's the best maneuvering here. Because I'm going to tell you something. If we make a mistake in November, a big mistake, which I think would be picking the Democratic or the Republican presidential person, it wouldn't, we lose either way. However, if we dare to really think about this and dare to set a precedence that says, hey world, look at us. We're willing to take a risk. We don't have to come up in arms. We don't have to get violent or ignorant at each other. But we are willing to say, hey, we want a change, and we're willing to let you know we want the change. There is a bigger program coming at us through all this. And they're just waiting to see what we do, because they're wanting our country to fold. They want our country to come down in economic standards so that we can be more competitive with other nations. This has been in progress for a long time, and most people, most nice people on the left side, they feel it won't happen. But I beseech you to go read it, because the way they've done it through the United Nations, they're covering it up with climate control. But it's a big document. It's a big thing. Anyway, you need to read it. And you can get it at Amazon. And that's Agenda 21. It is now 2030, the Agenda 2030, but it's the same thing as Agenda 21. It's just spiced up a little bit. So, because Agenda 21 didn't happen at the time they wanted it to, so now they're shooting for 2030. The thing is the rest of the world seems to be catching on to this, but the United States seems to be hell-bent on just being divided. Now, I posted something on Africa today, how even Africa is saying we cannot be different. You know, we can't be divided. We have to pull together. And it's the same thing here in the States. We have to pull together. For one thing, Africa and the other third world countries think we're the culprit, because we allow the new world, well, not the new world, we allow the elite, the wealthiest of the wealthy, use us as their mercenaries for whatever their needs were. Big business has no business owning the world at all. And we never should have let them get that big in our country. The Constitution was actually written to keep that from happening, but they found ways around it. And they found pocketbooks, people that were willing to, you know, open their pocketbook and, you know, what the hell, you know, and let things slide. So what we need to do is go back and see where everything slid. We got to get people in there, though, that are willing to work for the people again. And if they aren't, they need to go. And somehow we need to make the original Constitution stand for itself, and anything that was amended that was for equality, that needs to stay. The conglomerates are a no-no in this country. They weren't supposed to be. And we weren't supposed to allow European conglomerates come in here and take over, of which they have. So we're at a point in our lives where, you know, we're getting older, and the young people have been dumbed down because of this country, and the elite want to dumb down America so that they could take over easier. And you know, the New Age thing, you know, I see two things on the New Age thing. The New Age thing is, well, shouldn't we just, and this is the same thing I get from any of the elite that have anything to do with religion or New Age. And they're all saying, oh, well, you're supposed to be light and happy, and you got to think something beautiful so for it to come in. Well, okay. But I also believe I have to be active in my new beautiful world. And I will be. So, I don't know. Yeah, there are no easy answers, but you need to see the bigger picture. Both sides need to come back together and see what the real things are. We can't go too far to the right, too far to the left. We got to stop this nonsense. And church and state are always separate. That has to be. There's too many other religions in this country, and atheists and pagans, and you name it, we got it. And they all have value. They all do. And they all came to this country for the same freedoms and freedoms and dreams to possibly have their own little business or a couple little businesses, you know, something that they could feed and take care of their families and leave for a legacy for their children and their children. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the American dream. Are we going to give it up? Are we going to give it up because we're too stupid to get along? Because we want to be right? Women should always have the right to their own body, regardless. I don't care who these men are that think that we shouldn't, but they're wrong. Because they're the first ones to say, well, can't you get an abortion? That's why good women go in and make a choice. You know, I'm going to go in and not have this kid. Or I'm going to go ahead and have the kid. I don't need him, you know. So, anyway, there are, you can't go from this from a religious view. You have to go and look at all the people, all the religions, all of their needs. And the big thing is that no, we do not have to bring the poor up to our standard. That is not what we're talking about. But we are talking about they have a right to food and shelter, you know, a help with the shelter. We don't pay for all of it. If you knew how much we pay these elite and these conglomerates, for what? They furnish a, oh my God, we should be paying them shit. They should be paying taxes or paying us, you know, more so we could, you know, buy more product, you know. So we need to settle down. I know I do. And look at this realistically. Look it in the face at exactly what we're losing here. And it's all of us losing that makes anything under $1 billion a year. So you need to listen up. We need to work together. And I don't know about you, but I don't want a criminal, a loudmouth, name-calling bully as my daughters and my granddaughters, you know, example, and what do you call it, example, but, you know, shit. I'm at that age, I have those, you know, glitches. Like a, it's right there. It'll come out in a minute. But, I mean, we need good role models. Role models, that's it. Not bad ones. Because I guarantee every one of you that got bullied in high school hated that son of a bitch. I know, because I went around busting them up every now and then because show them what a good you know, what a person can do is make them feel just as shitty as they're trying to make somebody else feel. I don't like bullies, never will. They're hurting people, but they are people that are hurting inside. That's why they become bullies, because they feel that's the right way to do it, because they were bullied by somebody usually at home. And it goes on from there. But it still doesn't give them the excuse to be a bully. So I would like to see us all come back together. We are a powerful force, my generation. We're the last of the big ones because we have the knowledge. Let us put our egos down and our having to be right down and communicate again. I want to save my country. What do you want to save? Anyway, that's all I got tonight. I'll talk to you later. Lori out.